The reason the economy crashed in Venezuela mostly is responsible to what Donald Trump did in his first term, which was the subsequent rounds of crippling economic sanctions specifically designed to crash the economy and to basically destroy the petroleum industry in Venezuela. And this is how bad it was. As soon as those sanctions came online, the legwork for this was done during the second term of the Obama administration, but you saw a 75% drop in oil revenue from Venezuela. So imagine the economic effects of that. Per capita GDP, roughly 65% drop per capita GDP in Venezuela. So, I mean, whatever country you're talking about, that's just going to be devastating. And that's the U.S. strategy. It's to attack the economy. Then they've attacked the currency as well, the bolivar, to try to basically devalue it. They've forced, when they do that, and this is a strategy and a formula Larry's very familiar with, and John Perkins and others have educated us over the years, this strategy of attacking economic warfare, it also means that they're forced to, in order to get foreign currency, when their currency, this is what happened to Syria, immediately they have to sell their gold reserves, okay? So this has happened to Syria, it's happened to Lebanon, any target nation, Libya, etc. With regards to Venezuela, they can't even get all of their gold reserves because they've been stolen by the UK. Now, the United States gave the order to Britain, do not give Venezuela their gold back, which right now, according to current gold prices, be worth roughly $5.5 billion. So that's no small change in terms of what you can do in terms of leveraging gold as collateral for other financial stabilization help and from institutions in other countries, okay? So this has all been planned. This is all absolutely step-by-step, strategic across multiple U.S. administrations, and Donald Trump has pulled the trigger in the most audacious way. Maybe it's not the same way that a Democrat president would pull the trigger, and maybe not, maybe a lot faster than another U.S. president might pull the trigger, but nonetheless, it's been done. But the whole thing is based on lies. The other one is human rights abuses, okay? Human rights abuses. Oh, Venezuela's human rights abuses. They ran a legitimate election in 2024. All of these things, I've looked so hard for evidence. So, and all I run into is U.S.-funded NGOs and U.S.-funded organizations outside of Venezuela mostly that are making all these claims. And so what they do is they say, well, look, the moderate, the center right or the center leftist will say, well, look, I'm not defending Nicolas Maduro. We've all heard this caveat. It's like, I'm no fan of Vladimir Putin, but ... I'm against the proxy war in Ukraine. I'm not defending Maduro. He's a kleptocrat. He's a bad guy. But you know, we shouldn't be going in there and doing that to Venezuela. What they're essentially doing, and this is part of the CIA's information operation, is by delegitimizing the leadership, as they did with Saddam, as they did with Gaddafi. It means that the centrist in the West could sit back and say, look, this is unfortunate this has happened, but at least Maduro's gone. And it kind of legitimizes regime change, okay? And that's just the first step, the first domino to fall, and eventually you get deeper and deeper into the operation. This is absolutely, and I push back on this with Syria, with Russia, with Libya, of course, all of these conflicts I've covered over the years, and this is exactly the same. They say, no, Maduro's did this, he's done that. No, he has. They said there were going to be, people were celebrating the streets of Caracas. They weren't. They were out in the streets a day later, but in support of Maduro, in support of the government. So this is all part of a Western information operation, a propaganda operation to delegitimize, to marginalize, to dehumanize, and ultimately to destabilize Venezuela, because that's the end game. Marco Rubio says we don't want instability there. He's lying. That is right in the CIA's playbook. That is Plan C. There's Plan A, Plan B. Plan C is destabilization, color revolution, or civil war. And the United States will be so happy to come in and sweep up the mess which they themselves have created.